This morning, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey delivered his State of the City address. It is the first State of the City delivered in person since 2019. Here's more from the mayor's message to residents.
There is great reason to smile at where the city is going. There's great reason to smile about the progress that we are making. There are extraordinary people to be proud of, communities to celebrate, and the state of our city is in rebound. One of the things that we have focused on, something that has been core to my career in public service from the very beginning, something that is foundational to every single human being, a home. In my first inaugural address, feels like forever ago, many fewer gray hairs, less crow's feet, I got up in front of all of you and we said that housing is a right. And for the first time, affordable housing would be added, not just as an afterthought in the city's budget, but a centerpiece in the work that we're doing. We have since then wholly shifted the way that Minneapolis budgets around affordable housing by adding monies on an ongoing basis. Just last year, we saw our highest number of affordable housing units under construction in a given year in 2022 alone, ever. This is the highest amount we have ever done in our city. That's around 919 affordable housing units. That's with a focus of 264 of those units are at deeply low income levels, at 30% of area median income and under. And by the way, we're not taking our foot off the gas. In 2023, we are continuing with that record pace. We're continuing with the progress, and we already have 23 projects that are funded already. These projects will eventually provide 2,221 units for families and individuals across Minneapolis that quite simply need a home. Over the past couple of years, the city of Minneapolis and Hennepin County have invested over $200 million of pandemic relief funding for housing and homelessness response. The strength of this partnership, by the way, that is better than ever, it didn't happen by accident. It happened by working together. Our decision-making reflected our shared values and our shared commitment to affordable housing. So, while we're rebounding and setting records, we're doing more than ever before also for people who are experiencing homelessness in this city. We knew that making investments in places like Vivo Village and Homeward Bound, that it would be life-changing for people that needed help. These investments are working. They are nation-leading. People around the state and around the country are looking to us as to how to work through a housing crisis. People around the nation are looking to us as to how to provide that next rung on the ladder so that people who are experiencing homelessness can pull themselves out. We have created a pipeline throughout our community partners, with partners like Avivo and Homeward Bound and Simpson Housing and Agate. So, you want another example of how we're seeing major success in the area of housing? Yeah. I know you do. Stable homes, stable schools. We started it. Collectively, we built it, and it is working. It is working. We all know that safe and stable homes are of paramount importance for a young child who wants to graduate. They're of paramount importance for an entire family backing that person. They want them to graduate. And if you truly want to see academic success, the first route is to provide that stability of a home, period. And research shows very clearly that the earlier that we can stabilize kids and their families, the better the educational outcomes. So, we've been giving them homes with a focus on Minneapolis public school elementary students with the highest rates of homelessness. We've created partnerships with so many individuals, many of whom are with us. And what we're looking to do is provide a permanent fixture in our budget, which we've been doing since 2021. And since that time, Stable Homes, Stable Schools has provided a home for over 4,000 kids and their families in our Minneapolis public school system. And in fact, the program is working so well, we're going to be expanding it even more for this next school year. And you're going to have an announcement in just a matter of a few weeks to a couple months about that expansion because it's going to make a difference for even more kids and their families in our Minneapolis public school system. But the work is not limited to stable homes, stable schools, and these incredible partnerships that we have with nonprofits. Public housing is some of the most important housing stock that we have in our city. And over the last few years, we have invested in historic amounts in our public housing inventory, far more than we have in decades. But because our public housing stock is so critical, and because we have seen disinvestment for generations, we have to come up even bigger. We have to do even more. And so we've brought together a comprehensive plan, if you will, leaders from a number of different entities with the goal of expanding public housing in our city, with the goal of preserving our existing inventory, with the goal of providing, yes, of backfilling some of the areas that have gone substantially disinvested for decades. We all need to step up here. This is for the residents of our city. This is for over 6,000 units that we presently have, and for a whole lot of people that deserve not just the right of a home, but the right of livable conditions, the right of a home that they are proud of. That's where we need to go with public housing right now. So housing is not the only critical issue that we're dealing with. Let's talk about safety. We are making some incredible progress that we should all be able to get behind. And on the theme of rebounding, crime is down. Crime is down. Say it with me. Crime is down. You know, people will say what they will about Minneapolis. You know what I pay attention to? Data. You know what I pay attention to? Facts. Let me give you some of the facts here, because they matter. And we should all be repeating them, regardless of where we are, whether you're downtown Minneapolis or you're out in the suburbs. Homicides this year, they're down 43%. Remember that figure, homicides, down 43%. Carjackings this year, down 41%. Gunshot wound victims are down 32% year to date. Shots fired, down 28% year to date. Robbery is down 24% year to date. And our police have, with limited numbers, recovered a record amount of guns. 300 at least guns from the street and counting. Now, the crime stats that I just listed out, they're citywide. But I'll also tell you this. Crime is also down downtown, which leads nicely as a segue to the next section, which is downtown revitalization and the shift that we are seeing. So what does the rebound downtown look like? Well, let's first talk about what it doesn't look like. And we're going to be honest here. It doesn't look like getting 100% of the people back to the office 100% of the time. It doesn't. With remote work for many, and that's the whole 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, that's a thing of the past. And look, I get it. Like, actually, I really don't get it. I don't get it. I'm very much a coming into the office person, and my staff are coming into the office. Thank you. But look, I do get the sweatpants on Mondays thing. It sounds pretty appealing. I get that some people want to go up to their cabin on Fridays and get out of town for a bit. And I get it. So let me introduce you to this new concept that I came up with while I was writing the speech. It's brilliant. It's the concept of Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. These are days that fall in the middle of the week. It's after Monday and before Friday. And these are days which, and this is a new and innovative idea, and in 10 years people are going to say I was a genius. These are days when people will come down to work in person. And you can collaborate, you can create this brilliant office culture, and you can talk to people that you haven't seen in a while, where you experience the whole day. Maybe you go out for a drink after work, and you experience the beautiful people that we have. Everyone comes back to work on these days, every week. And it's not just about coming back on those weeks, I'll tell you. These are days when people can ideate with one another, where they can create culture. And did you know that the likelihood of inventions, of patents coming out, and new business concepts all go dramatically up for every doubling of the workforce population that is working together? Goes dramatically up. There's nothing proven that says that you can do that online.